What you are right now looking at is every winter when I bring in my plants. And this is only half of them. That, all that is half. Because I still have bananas, pineapples, and tropical flowers to bring in. And I have to fit all of that in this tiny window. So I don't know what I'm going to do. But I'm going to show you my progress and what I've done. And also, I just want to say this. Recently, I've been kind of getting tired of the same old Venus flytrap. I'm not saying that's bad. I still love the Venus flytrap. It's probably one of my favorite plants. But it's no longer the plant that whenever it dies, I buy 2 more. Like my Venus flytrap system, yeah. I used to grow Venus flytraps like a hydra. And it's kind of getting boring, and so I just want to up my game, maybe with different types of plants this time. So when one dies, this time I've been investing in new arrangements that actually look really beautiful. And I'm going to name all of them. To start, you guys know this one, which I really like, and is doing really well. And this Nepenthes Miranda that you've seen before, like I said, is doing really well. I just want to quickly show you the picture progress. Look at this. This picture has spots and freckles on it. It has amazing wings. And it's not even done. But it's already inflating. And it's just kind of hanging up there. It's hanging out. Ha ha ha, terrible jokes. That is what I have to say about my Nepenthes Miranda right now. So yeah, it's recovering really well from a really bad time. And I just can't believe how beautiful it is. Another thing is this, which you have never seen before. Or at least on the channel. I'm sure you guys know of this as the Holiday Cactus. In which this one was actually unintentional. But I love it. I love it just as much as I love all my other plants. And, so on garage sale day, you know, I came out, and my grandparents stopped by, and they just gave me this. And for a holiday cactus, this has some insane size. Like, guys, really. This is amazing. I love it so much. Except Maple and Rebel had another rampage, and they ate some of it. So now I'm just propagating that right there. Next to my Drosera, which they also ate up. It doesn't look like it, but it was literally out of the pot. But I got it all cleaned up. And now he's just chilling with all the other plants. Pretty heavy too. Right here you also haven't seen on the channel. This is a pineapple propagation. Or at least it's 1 out of 3 of my pineapple plants that have been successful. Oh. Why? Okay, so I didn't know that the recording had stopped for that moment. And for some reason my Google tab just opened up. But I was going to say that this is a very large propagation. It's very large. I don't want to poke my eye though. And it's also very sharp. Next to that is a tray with a snake plant, which I've showed you before, which had made some really nice growth progress. And it may not look much, but I actually did figure out that it is growing. Because I did some experiments, I did some measurements, and I did figure out that it is growing. Just very slowly. And right here is my new Orchid, which I love so much. Get out gaming headsets. We don't need that right now. So, funny story, I did not plan to get an Orchid. But if you take me to Walmart and show me the garden center, I'm very likely to come home with something alive. That's usually a plant, not like an animal. I don't think they sell animals at Walmart because that's weird. Well, it's not weird, but it's a market, not a pet store. Or at least I don't think so. I should probably stop saying all these things because I don't even know that much about Walmart. I usually only go there to get plants. And now I feel like I'm doing a sponsorship. Not sponsored. I wish. I get sidetracked very easily. Anyways, I came there to the garden center. And the garden center had been cleared out since it was fall. And instead it was just filled with bicycles and all that stuff. But I found a shelf next to the garden center. I found 2 shelves, one at the entrance with like a bunch of things like birds of paradise and stuff. But I didn't have enough money for that, so. But I'm honestly glad that happened, because I never would have found this guy. So, this dude actually was among some cacti, which were all pretty shriveled up. And he was in the very back, and I almost didn't notice him, but I saw this flower right here, which is starting to shrivel up, just sticking out of a bunch of cacti. And so I'm like, wait, yo, what? And the funny thing is, I had actually been looking at orchids for the past couple days, and so I just find this such a coincidence that every time that I seem to check out or get interested in a plant, something happens where I end up obtaining it in the next few days. That happened to my holiday cactus and my snake plant. So yeah, that's incredibility. And this orchid. But it was bone dry, and all the flowers were shriveled up. It still has some of the shriveled up flowers that I found at Walmart that were still on the plant. I trimmed a bunch of those off though because they didn't really help with beauty. And most of the leaves were yellow or dead. And it had no price tag at all. It still does not. I mean, of course it doesn't if it did not previously. But if it did, I would probably have taken it off by now. And so this little guy, I almost just dropped him. As I was saying, this little guy is not super duper big. He's kind of small. But that does not mean that I do not care for this man. This orchid, those lovely little flowers there. And this lovely little flower. I forgot, I lost my train of thought for some reason. Oh yeah, as I was saying, it had no price tag at all. And so I just picked it up. It was dried up and pretty shriveled. It was in bad shape, no price tag at all, so I could not determine. And so I went over to another thing, which had some pretty big orchids and some pretty medium-sized orchids that were a lot bigger than this. But this was the smallest thing I had, and it was the only thing I had. If there was more of them, I would most likely find that price tag and stick with that. But all I could do was really compare. There was a plant much bigger than this for $10, and a massive one for $15. That did not do anything, and so I ended up just taking it to the cash register, whatever it's called. And so while we were checking out whatever we needed at Walmart, I say, hello, I found this in the garden center, and it has no price tag. And so that was kind of awkward. But we ended up figuring something out, and she sold it to me for $2. So thank you so much, because now I'm obsessed with them. This is not the only one you'll see on the channel. And although this plant was $2, I had no idea that they had such high maintenance. So I ended up spending another like $7 on just like crazy stuff that I actually need. But you know, what works. So yeah, it's good. In the meantime, once I got home, I took it to my sink and I just gave it a little watering. And then I started looking up care. And I instantly regretted a lot of things that I had done. Because, I had watered it from the top. And I did not know that if you get this part wet, and the underground version, that can cause root and crown rot, which is actually one of the main reasons why orchids die. And so I'm freaking out. And I mean, I only watered it one time like that. But from now on, whenever it gets thirsty, I'm just gonna, just take it out of this little white thing, which has no drainage hole. Except for a red marker, I just want to get this off. You know what, that's a fight for another day. I'm getting really sidetracked, but I figured out that these guys are like air plants and bromeliads because they are very airy. And so I ordered some what's it called? Orchid bark to repot this guy. And as soon as it comes in, I'll make a video on that. And I'm definitely going to give it a bigger pot because this is a pretty small pot. It's like as big as my hand. And in case you didn't know, my hand is probably what's something to scale? I have a hand, but it's not very large. Well, I can do this with it. And this is how big my hand is compared to a leaf. Yeah, that really doesn't help. It doesn't matter. But I'm gonna repot this guy as soon as I can. And I did notice this aerial root right here, which is a root that just comes out of the soil. And so my thought was, I did hear if you do this or this with a monstera by putting this root in a cup of water, they grow drink. Yeah, I don't know completely about that. I don't know if that will do something good or bad to the orchid, and so I'm not going to do it until you guys see this video. I hope you're watching. I hope you made it this far because my videos can get pretty boring pretty fast. But anyway, yeah, I took it home. I've been caring for it for the last 3 days. And since then, this flower that it came with died, along with all the other ones, or it started to shrivel up. And in the meantime, it made this beautiful flower right there, which is actually my new channel logo. Also, I'm really sorry. I can't find a good channel logo thing because in the next few days I get another idea where I want to change it to something else. But I promise, this is final. I love this orchid. This is my new thumbnail. This is the thumbnail for my channel. No, not for the video. I don't think that's the right word. It's my new channel thingy. This orchid flower which is grown for me. It also has this nice pollen. Has this nice texture that I really like. It's amazing. Check out that flower on the back side too. Yeah, there's not much to see on the back side. But anyways, I'm loving it. I've trimmed it up a little bit. As soon as orchid moss arrives, I will make a separate video and just trim this dude for good. Set him free from this, whatever the soil is that it has. It's not even like soil, it's more solid. It's literally like a sponge texture. And you can just do that, which is really worrying. And plus the soil looks like it's a actual sponge. It's not soil. That's all I know. And I want to get it out of whatever this is because it doesn't seem good for the dude. But anyway, he's still liking the care that I'm giving him. I do know that they can get burnt pretty easily. And so I just have this east-facing window. In the morning, the sun comes down on it. And I have plants blocking it from direct sunlight so that it does not get burnt but from the rest of the day on it gets bright shade, which is what I was told to do by some YouTube tutorials and books. So yeah, that's great. But anyways, I keep it up with my snake plants. So beautiful, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And then also we have my Nepenthes ventrata, which I have not made an update on either. Holy crap. So much to say about this. It has made so many upper pictures since then with really, really well-sized hair stones and amazing colors. Let me grab another picture right here. Swing it around front. Yeah, that one's great. They're all great. Like even the baby right here. Something in the camera way. It is beautiful. It has so many pictures left and right. Sometimes I even lose track of them, which is something that I've never done before. I'm pretty sure there's some facing the window too. So, yeah, they are chilling with the airplanes. They really seem to like that. I'm sorry if it is random. Well, I don't know if they like it, but I hope you do. Also, I have this pothos here. This pothos, I don't know what type of pothos it is. Please tell me what type of pothos this is. Anyways, that's all for the day's video. This very long video for this very... I don't really think I needed that video. May as well make it a stream because it's like 16 minutes and what? 15 seconds or something? I don't know. Anyway, goodbye.